It's another edition of the Irie 98 podcast. Yours truly, Rusty G here. Very special guest in the spot. Always a pleasure to see this guy, man.
Honestly.
Nhuri, what's up?
Dog, I can't complain, man. I am so proud of you, bro. This is absolutely amazing. I think you have more cameras than me now. I don't know how this is possible.
Come on, man. Don't give me that.
Hey, I love it. I love to see it, man. This is awesome.
It's an evolution, you know what I mean?
That's it. It's an evolution. Everything's an evolution, you know? And so we're here to talk about Bermuda Walls.
Yes.
But also let's just talk about art and Bermuda and everything in general, you know?
Yes. So with that being said, tell me a bit about how you feel about where the art space is in Bermuda right now, currently, 2025. How do you feel?
Honestly, the art space is growing in ways that I wouldn't have anticipated like 5 years ago. You have a lot more young artists that are doing big things. Like, you know, you have guys like Jabari Wilson that are out there doing their thing. You have Carlos Santana, you have Alshante Fogo, you have all of these amazing artists that in their own right are creating a platform that is broadening the art space. You know, Shanna Hollis, you know, she's got murals going up everywhere.
Absolutely.
So I'm actually in awe of the art space and what's happening around us right now.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
And you know, for aspiring artists who might be out there that are seeing these things going around, is there some kind of like maybe advice or guidance you might be able to give them? Like how do I go about being official and having a mural in a particular place on the island? And, you know, like what's the legit process of doing that?
Honestly, I mean, a lot of the time is about visibility, right? So artists, I think in the early stages are so scared to show their stuff, you know?
Right.
And the showing this stuff is what allows you to be able to grow, or showing your work allows you to grow, get better, and then it also gives you a platform for more people to be able to see your work. And it's just knowledge of who you are, I think, is the biggest thing. So for us, you know, in even looking for artists to participate in Bermuda Walls, and we'll delve deep into what that is, you know, it's kind of a word of mouth thing. Who's showing their stuff on Instagram, who has a website, who's doing small shows or doing large shows or whatnot. It's just getting your name out there the legit way, you know?
Correct. And so, you know, what inspired this? Because this is the second annual?
Second annual.
All right, second annual. So what made you start it? Where the idea come from?
So the word "you" used loosely in that scenario because it's a collaborative thing, right? My boy Spencer Butterfield, who isn't here right now, but he wish he could be. He is like a huge reason for this coming off the ground. And it was serendipitous. You know, I've spoken to you, we believe in serendipity, right? I started something called the Run for the Arts, which is a run that happens in Northeast Hamilton. And we raise money for art installations in the Northeast Hamilton area.
Got you.
Spencer Butterfield on the other side, and these are two things happening at the same time. Spencer Butterfield was like, look, man, I really would love to see large murals around the island. And so we were having a chat, and he was like, look, Nhuri, I have this good friend, this guy named Gleason, and he's out of Miami, and he does Wynwood Walls. If you've ever been to Wynwood in Miami.
That's a big deal.
Mecca for street art, you know? So basically, he connected myself and Gleason, and all of this Bermuda Walls and having these artists come in doing large scale murals and getting the local artists involved was just it came together in like a 2-month span. So last year's
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It went
as a person that puts on events and I know what goes into it, for you to be able to pull that off in 2 months, you said?
2 months.
Less than?
2 months, exactly. It went from coffee.
Kudos to you guys, man.
Yeah.
You and Spencer putting that together. Big up for
and Gleason. And I can't go without it. And so that was the genesis of it. And so people ask, what is Bermuda Walls? In a nutshell, it's a mural festival, right? So we have international artists, we have local artists, and they are coming to the island, or the locals are in the island, and they're producing artwork that is for the public. A lot of art you'll see is in private spaces or in galleries, in places that you have to go into to see. This is taking art and it's putting it on the walls for everyone to see and enjoy. And I think that's the hallmark of a really vibrant society, when you have art outside for everyone to enjoy.
For sure. So right in the city of Hamilton, this is outside of Butterfield and Vallis, correct?
Correct.
And they are sponsors for the event as well, is that correct?
There are a list of sponsors, and I wish I had the mental ability to remember all of them, but for this I have to pull up my phone, right?
Nah, we'll make sure that we credit them as well,
yes.
in this episode, So big ups to all the sponsors to help.
Tons of sponsors. No, I have the list of them. So Butterfield and Vallis, obviously.
Gotcha.
Butterfield, that's Spencer and his amazing team of people who actually behind the scenes are putting a lot of this stuff together, because you have people that have ideas, but then you have the team that actually pulls everything together. So the team at Butterfield and Vallis, they have been spectacular in like every finite detail of making this thing happen. So we say it happened in 2 months, but really and truly the team at Butterfield and Vallis makes it happen in 2 months.
Got you.
And then we have Bermuda Economic Development Corporation. They are obviously in the business of promoting business in Northeast Hamilton. And so they are sponsoring large-scale murals in the Northeast Hamilton area. Burnt Toast, the gang.
Of course.
Squad up,
Yeah,
what's up, Drew? And then we have Gleason from Galleria Collective, Worldwide Walls, Monster Energy, and All Rise. You wouldn't believe that, like, in order for these murals to go up, you need these lifts to take you up to the top of buildings or whatnot.
Right, of course.
So All Rise came through and they sponsored the lifts to take everyone up.
That's what's
Hamilton
up.
Princess is giving people the visiting artist room. So it's actually like it's a community effort to have art put up around the island.
Okay, so for somebody who's just checking in, they might have missed it last year. They want to get involved this year. What's the process? Do they need to buy tickets? Is this a free event? What can they expect? What time should they show up? How long are you guys gonna be there doing it? You know what I mean? Like give them that full skinny for someone that's interested.
So someone that's interested, I think I'll break that into 2 categories, right? So artists, I think, who are probably like, they're the glue of this event. For artists that want to get involved, I'm very easy to find. You can send me an email on Nhuri at burnthouseproductions.com. Nhuri is the funny spelling.
We'll flash that up on the screen so they can see.
Yeah, they can send me an email, or you can hit me up on Instagram, or you could just hit the contact form on bermudawalls.com if that's easier for you.
Okay.
For the actual event itself, so this is for the public. So we are going to be shutting down in front of Butterfield and Vallis. That is on Woodlands Road. And the event is going to have like art installation. So you're going to have the artists physically putting pieces up on the wall or finishing the pieces that they've started on the walls. We'll have a community wall where Shanna Hollis will allow children and people to be able to get their hands wet and paint and all of that kind of stuff.
I love that.
We're going to have vendors. We got like Ashley's Lemonade. We got George's. We got the JB Woodfire Pizza, so you can get your food on while you're there. There's going to be skateboarding. So, if you kick push, if you remember that, you're a music guy.
Of course, man. And what's funny is that, like, skateboard culture and kind of street art have gone hand in hand forever.
I wish my knees, I'm past 40 now. So,
you're not going to be out there boarding.
Nah, I wish I could drop an ollie or do a little something, but kid ain't doing it. No. I'm trying to stay alive for a couple more years.
So it's going to be active is what you're saying, basically. Active. Family fun. Come out and enjoy the entire day, more
100%. 100%. So our brethren and lifetime comedian and personality, Photogenic, is going to be out there doing this thing and hosting a wheelie competition,
Nice.
So
nice.
And for this, we wanted to try to bring a lot of different communities together so that they can all celebrate art together. So Butterfield and Vallis, April 13th, in front of Woodlands Road. The event is going from 11 till 4 p.m. So come out and enjoy. And I think it's going to be an amazing event specifically for celebration of art and community.
Yeah, it sounds like it, man, for real. And what are you looking forward to seeing? Like, who's an artist that you're kind of in touch with, that, you know, you really rate their work?
Yeah.
Yeah, excited to see what they bring to the table, because I know you're a little bit closer to it than most. So let us know, you know, who's your picks in terms of.
So honestly, a brethren of mine's, and this is kind of one of those relationships that have grown through art, you know. So this street artist, Jairo Viega, or just Jairo. He is probably one of the most talented artists that I've seen personally. BK, Lauren BK. So if you've been down to Butterfield and Vallis, you'll see that they have there's a painting with boots on the wall, and it was a very personal painting to her. But the realism, you know, you look from BAA across. Right. It looks like boots on sand with Altoids or whatnot in there.
For real.
So those two are like spectacular artists. And it's funny because in art, you appreciate people for their differences, you know? So, you know, Jairo, he creates these figures that like, they're not based in realism, but they have a realism to them that is like, it just pulls you in, you know?
So I'm gonna have to look up his work now.
Yeah, check out his stuff. It's really epic. And then there's another guy named Chink. Chink, I mean, I got to meet him last year. He did a piece down on Parsons Road, you know, near and dear to me, the Bakaton area. And his work is like, it's a bit more playful, you know, and it doesn't take itself serious. So, I mean, there's some really awesome international artists, but then our Bermudian artists, like, you know, we got Shanna Hollis, we got Alshante Fogo, we got Carlos Santana, we got Robin Hooper, we have Keely, we have a number of different artists that, like, I just rate on their own, like on their own merit, period, you know? So I think it's just everybody. I'm excited for the whole gang.
That's what's up, man. And so you mentioned the international artists, but international or local, do they get any kind of guidance or direction, or is there a vision that's given to them, or are they just left totally to their own creative?
That's a great question, because in mural festivals, typically the artists are just left to their own devices. You know, like they create the things that they want. But the cool thing about all of the artists that are coming, they have researched Bermuda. They understand some of the cultural nuances. And so their pieces will be pieces that reflect their art, but are also sensitive to Bermuda's cultural nuances, if that makes any sense.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So they're coming down with that context in mind.
With that context in mind.
Us something that will resonate a little bit with us.
Exactly. Because it's community art, right? So you want the art to resonate with the community, right? And so
makes sense.
That's it. So that's the only guidance that the artists have. It's that they have knowledge of Bermuda, that they take into consideration the social context and Bermudianism, so to speak.
Got it.
And that's it, you know? So I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with. I have no clue, but I shall see. It's
a surprise for everybody.
It will be.
And this is on a Sunday. So Sunday, April 13th, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And if you mentioned it before, it starts at 11, correct?
I will double check my phone, because the Butterfield and Vallis people, they're the ones that make sure that I'm 100.
That you're on point. So, you know, tell the family, bring out the kids, everybody. Everything is going to be there for you. And it's free entry, and the traffic blocking. So the blocking off the street.
I should have just took the memory. It's 11 to 4.
11 to 4.
11 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So come out, have some fun, have some food, enjoy. There's going to be, like I said, wheelie competition. There's going to be community art. There's bouncy castles. There's face paint. There's
everything you need to have a good
multi-generational
Sunday.
100%.
And it's also, if I'm not mistaken, the week before Easter weekend.
It is, and the week before my daughter's birthday. So shout out to my daughter too.
Yeah, shout out to her. So I mean, you know, it's a great time of year to start getting outside.
And honestly, like the weather's been good.
There you go.
It's been treating us good.
Hey,
so knock on wood.
Knock on something. Don't jinx it.
Knock on wood. We have a really, really good event, and the weather plays with us. Some of the things that I think I would love to be able to see to broaden this, and this is going off script here a bit. In continuing with the community vibe, we're going to have artists down on Parsons Road. If you drive across Parsons Road, you're going to see 4 containers that are down the parking lot across from the laundromat. And those 4 containers are going to be the stage for some of the murals.
Nice.
We're looking for maybe food vendors that would be interested in, you know, bringing stuff down to the artists to ensure that, you know, they're fed the whole time. Not that they will go hungry, but you know, we just want the community to get in. And if you feel like that might be something that you'd be interested in doing, we'd be interested in receiving it. If at all through the week, because the artists come down from the 6th. So they start their murals on the 6th.
Okay.
And then they are typically finishing them on the day of the mural festival. So
that was going to be one of my questions for you, right? Was to kind of get a little bit of insight in terms of the preparation behind, you know, doing something like that. So I'm assuming, obviously, I don't know much about this space, but I'm guessing that each artist is given, like, you know, a particular dimension, a space. So they know how big this space is that they need to obviously put their murals on.
Yes.
And then from there, it's like preparing, well, how am I going to get this done in X amount of time? And so can you walk me through a little bit of that process? Are you familiar with that? Or?
I am familiar, and this is just through watching, you know, so I would never profess to be even capable of course,
but
doing.
I mean, but you're more qualified than me to speak on it at this point, right?
So these artists, all of them, international and local, these are artists that are professionals in their own right, you know, so they know what it takes to be able to pull off their pieces. So what the artists typically do, and this is for the large scale murals, they will typically have their art in some render form, and it's on an iPad or on a sketchbook or whatnot. And then they overlay that onto an image of the building or location that they're going to be painting it on.
That makes sense.
And then they have this thing called a doodle grid. And now a doodle grid to most people looks like absolute gibberish nonsense, right? But you'll see the artists, they spray these letters and faces and numbers and all kinds of funky little characters all over the building. And those characters correlate to basically a grid where they know where to put each stroke of their art piece on the wall or on the container. So some of the things that you'll see. So as the artists come down, you'll see it looks like they're doing like graffiti on the wall, so to speak, but they're actually not. They're preparing for their artwork. And then it basically becomes they do their line work, which is they outline their pieces. And then they start to fill it in with the bulk colors or the base colors, and then they do all of their shading. So typically you'll see it go in a number of different phases. But and I was absolutely stunned to see, like, if you look at Butterfield and Vallis, that's a 30-foot wall.
Massive.
30 foot, 30 foot by 15 feet. And these guys finished that in like 7 days. You know?
Real?
Yeah. Like, so it's amazing to watch. So luckily it's not just a one and done day. If you're out from the 6th through to the 13th, you'll see art in progress.
You'll see the process.
You'll see the process. So I would say, again, to other artists that are interested in it, take that time to go down there. All of these artists are happy to talk to you. You know, I've been to Wynwood. You can go there and talk to them, obviously, when they're not on the high lift. But they'll give you a rundown of what's going on, you know, as long as you're not trying to talk for 2 hours or 3 hours or whatnot, you know.
Of course.
5 minutes, you know, and sitting down and just watching the process, I think would be good for a lot of the up and coming artists that want to understand how this works.
I was just about to say, so all of the young upcoming artists, this is your call right now. This is literally your time right now. So I would say don't waste the opportunity.
Not at all.
If this is something that interests you, absolutely now is the time. Get involved.
This is the time.
Hit up Nhuri, get involved, and get active and see what you could do to be part of Bermuda Walls 2025.
100%. I'm open. I'm an open book. So anybody can hit me up anytime. All the artists know that, if they have ideas, I'm there to support, because for me, I believe in art being a viable future for Bermuda and Bermudians, and so and
I've known you for some time, and I know that when you say that, that's not lip service.
I believe in it.
You absolutely believe in it, and you believe in following your passions, following your dreams, and going off the beaten path. Do the things that they say can't be done here.
Create a path.
You've been a pioneer for that in many ways, man.
100%.
So big salutes to you. I've always appreciated from afar you and Drew and the team and what you guys do in your own world.
Yeah.
It's truly inspiring, man. So keep it up.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I gotta give you your flowers, while you're sitting in the seat right now.
And one thing, I'll take them. I'll take them, man. I appreciate that. And honestly, but it can't go without saying that, no man is an island, and so this Bermuda Walls and any of the projects that you see me working on, it's not me. It's a team of people that make these things happen, and it takes community support. So when we talk about the sponsors, they see the vision that Spencer has. They see the vision that I have. They see the vision for Bermuda. And so, there's nothing better to me than having people support, not just in words, but also financially assisting and or providing things to be able to make it work.
Big facts. So once again, big shout out to the sponsors and Bermuda Walls. Get active, get involved.
This is it.
Hit up Nhuri. Happening on Sunday, April 13th.
Correct.
Can't wait to see what the artists come up with. Want to say thank you again for stopping through the Irie studio. And is anybody you want to big up, shout out before you get up out here? Anything we've missed so far in this? Or
honestly, I think we've covered a lot of things. You're a married man. I'm a married man.
Correct.
Nothing that I do is possible without my wife's support. So
this is no truer fact has been said.
So shout out to the wives.
Yes, absolutely. Big ups to the wives.
Big up to the wives, man. That's as much as I can finish with.
All right. Well, that's what's up, man. Once again, another edition of the Irie 98 podcast. Want to thank you for listening, watching, tuning in. If you love conversations like this in our community, if you love more vibes, because we post all kinds of, live shows and all the energy from Irie, man, just make sure you keep it locked. Subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube, and look out for more coming from us. Once again, Nhuri, thank you.
My boy.
For stopping through. And man, April 13th. See you there.
See you there.